The Big Galoot.
Written by the Shadoe.
Read by my dad, Shadoe Stevens.
The Middleberg School. What a wonderful place. Everything went along at a Middleberg pace. Nothing demanding, never fast nor too slow. Everyone got along. They would go with the flow. They'd grin and hold hands. They felt frisky and free. They all looked the same. They would always agree. They had perfect teeth, no decay and no plaque. They had the same face, brown or yellow, white, black. They'd nod and they'd sigh, always at the same time. Their clothing was nice, while their shoes had to shine. The Middleberg motto was, "Go your own way," but nobody went. They all wanted to stay. They had their own look. They had their own style, their very own language, the very best smile. Everything they could want, everything they could need. We're the smartest, the best, they always agreed. And then one day, 'twas a Tuesday morning the day he arrived. The Middleberg School would never survive that shocking arrival, the one in the suit. They laughed when they saw that great big Galoot. The Galoot had a grin as large as his face. A long pointed head pointed to the wrong place. His shirt, it was wrinkled. The collar was frayed. His polka-dot shorts were oh so passé. He had extra large hands he dragged through the door. His pigeon-toed feet tripped on the floor. And everyone laughed. He was clumsy, a geek. They pointed and gawked, and then heard him speak. His voice was pinched up like his tie was too tight, as if holding his nose, choked up and not right. Mrs. Gunderson said, "This is Warren Galoot." And wiping his nose on the sleeve of his suit, he said, "Gosh, nice to be here, and what a nice school. I'm not real smart, and I'm not very cool, but I try to be nice and try not to fight. I'd rather be happy than always be right. Thank you." "That's very good," Mrs. Gunderson said, and gave him a pat on the point of his head. "We hope you'll be happy. You've nothing to fear." But then, taking his seat, the kids gave a sneer. He said, "Hey, Big Galoot, your feet are turned in. Who bought you that suit? Who poked in that chin? You're pretty clumsy. Your voice is a squeak. Your head is all pointed. You look like a freak." Then they laughed, and they laughed. They snickered and spit. At recess they tripped him. They'd pinch, shove, and hit. He was taunted and teased. They would mock, push, and chase. They'd say, "Go away, you're in the wrong place." But he did not crumble. He'd never get mad. Nutty, crazy, or daffy, or gloomy, or sad. He'd say, "I'm a Galoot, but I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up."
And then, reaching a meadow, at the edge of a cliff, they could see the whole world. Their muscles were stiff. He finally arrived. As they finished their snack, he sat down to join them and opened his sack. But before he could bite, before he could drink, the ground started shaking. It started to sink. The wind began howling. The sky became gray. Mrs. Gunderson screamed, "We cannot delay! Everyone up! We all must get back! A storm is coming! The sky's turning black!" Wolves started howling. The air took a chill. They stayed on the trail, kept running until lightning crackled. It started to rain, and when thunder clapped, they began to complain. And following Jewel, the yak in the lead, they leaned into the wind and started to plead, "Someone please save us. Oh, this is a curse." But around the next bend, it simply got worse. First a torrent of rain, Then the ground started crumbling. They jumped on a boulder, screeching and mumbling, terrified, skittish, confused, and dismayed. Their eyes were bugged out. They were really afraid. But the big galoot ambled up from the rear, waddled onto the rock. He had none of that fear, saying, "Hey, I'm a galoot, and I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up." He really annoyed them. But no one dared speak. They were 2,000 feet straight up from a creek. They looked down, they shivered, the trail fell away. And when thunder cracked, that big boulder swayed. It careened, it teetered, it wobbled and lurched. With a schloop, it was falling from where it was perched. The boulder was schlooping away from the cliff, fell away from their feet. They sobbed and they sniffed. "Somebody help us, somebody, please." They were wet to the bone and starting to freeze. They clung to their teacher. They clung to each other. Friend holding friend, every sister and brother. Arm holding arm, they held on like a chain, stretching down in the air and the wind and the rain. They were doomed. They were lost, full of fear, full of doubt, when from up above, a galoot gave a shout.
"Hey, you guys, up here!"
That squeaky voice said.
"Hey, hold on to me!"
And that long pointed head popped out from above and over the edge and threw down a big hand from up on a ledge. A size 42 hand grabbed the yak and held tight. And 22 kids, like the tail of a kite, flew through the air, whipping round in the wind. They flopped and they snapped, they'd jerk and they'd spin, and Warren Galoot poked pigeon-toed feet deep into the mud and would not be beat by forces too fierce for man, woman, or beast. As the going got tougher, his courage increased, saying, "I'm a galoot, and I have good luck. You can't get me down. I never give up." He pulled up and saved first the yak, then the teacher. The kids holding on to the foot of the creature were tugged and reeled in, each one at a time, but then started slipping and rain in the slime, and skidded and slid with grunts and a hiss right off the edge into the abyss.